Are you looking for a scooter that's easy to ride, lightweight, agile, especially in São Paulo's heavy traffic, and economical? The new Honda Elite 125 is all that and promises fuel consumption of up to 49.9 kilometers per liter. If you're new here, I'm Amanda Pagliari, and this is the most charming motorcycle channel in Brazil, which also brings you the best two-wheel reviews on the internet. So go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and join me for this complete test of the new Honda Elite 125 with technical features, performance in the city and on the road, colors and price, fuel consumption, and insurance cost. And of course, my honest opinion with the pros and cons. The new Elite 125 has changed both inside and out, and it comes with a lot of interesting updates. But is it really worth it? Watch until the end because I'll answer that for you. The first Elite was launched in Brazil by Honda in 2018, and there's a video about it here on the channel. The second generation came in 2024 with changes to the chassis, the exterior, the engine, and much more. And it's the entry-level scooter, the cheapest scooter, and also the one with the smallest engine displacement from Honda. Unlike the Biz, which is a QB, the Elite 125 is a 100% automatic scooter. So you don't need to shift gears. It's basically just accelerating and braking, very practical. There's a very complete video here on the Motoplay channel showing the differences between the generations. I'll put the link in the description and card, so watch it later, okay? This is just complimentary, so this video doesn't get too long. I'll focus more here on my opinions, riding experience, and of course the pros and cons. And who is it for? It's recommended for beginners. Yes, this is a great scooter to start in the world of two wheels. So if you don't have much experience, just got your driver's license, you can go straight for the Elite 125. It's also recommended for someone who already has a car in the garage or even a bigger motorcycle and is looking for an economical, easy-to-ride, lightweight vehicle to handle heavy traffic. And also obviously for someone who wants to avoid public transportation. When you do the math on how much you spend on public transportation, it might be worth it for you to get a scooter like this. And well, starting now with its design, it's a very beautiful design in my opinion, which is very similar to premium scooters. So I really liked it. It has straighter, more aggressive lines. In several places you see carbon finish, imitating carbon, which gives the scooter a touch of sophistication. I really like the exhaust here too. Look, with this cover here, it looks really nice, and in this color, I thought it turned out so cute. It's kind of a unisex color, right? So even though a lot of women really like scooters, and honestly, the majority of the Elite's audience is female, it's a unisex color. Many men also look for a vehicle like this because of its practicality and also because it's economical. Regarding the lights, we have LED in the headlights, so we have an LED headlight here, and also the daytime running light in LED. I like the little eyes here on our Elite, so here we have LED in the headlight too. However, the turn signals and tail light remain with conventional bulbs, just like in the previous generation. Down here we have a little hook for you to hang a bag, backpack, or other belongings. You just lift here and hang it. Honda recommends you carry up to 15 kg. To open the compartment under the seat, just put the key in the seat position and press the button. Here, it only fits an open face helmet, not a full face helmet. This one is a Pils Freeway model helmet. It has a really nice visor that covers your face, so you can put it down here, okay? If you want to put other belongings like a raincoat or a jacket, you can't. The seat is one piece and the cover here is the same. Both the rider and the passenger have a small bump here that supports the lower back. I'll get on so you can see. The height to the ground is 76.5 centimeters. I'm 177 centimeters tall and I can put both feet on the ground. Even on the center stand, which comes from the factory, comes as standard, okay? If you're shorter than I am, you can sit a little further forward. Because in this part where the seat narrows, you can put your feet down more easily. But I believe most people can do it. So, people below 170 cm or around that height can put both feet on the ground without difficulty. We have a flat floor here, which is really good. I really like flat floors. Flat floors are life. Besides letting you carry your belongings, it gives you more safety because you can rest your feet. I like it a lot. And now there's this shield here, which even protects you from the rain, from drizzle. It protects a lot, right? I think that's really interesting. The passenger foot peg is now retractable. So you just do this, and to close it, you just push it back. Let me sit back here so you can see. Look, I can fit here pretty well, okay? And the passenger handle here is made of resin, so I can hold on tightly. Of course, the rider has to be here, right? Otherwise, the rider will move forward. But overall, it's comfortable for whoever sits back here. As for weight, it weighs 100 kilos dry, not counting the fluids and the fuel tank, which has a capacity of 5.3 liters of gasoline. And it changed position is back here now. That's right. To open it, just turn here on the fuel seat. It's the same place for you to open the seat and press here on the top part, and that's it. The cap will open, right? So you can access the opening. Certainly, this position of the fuel tank makes it difficult for those who want to install a top case, but Scam managed to find a solution. So, if you want to install a top case here on your new generation Elite 125, I recommend you install the top case support. It fits perfectly here and is the exact size for you to be able to open the lid, refuel your scooter, and also carry your belongings since there isn't much space down here. But Scam has other accessories for your Elite 125 like a fairing protector. Very useful hand protector for cold days, it helps a lot. And also a plate reinforcement so you can prevent your plate from falling off. Remember that Scam has accessories for different types of motorcycles and various brands. Go to the website, the link is in the description, or point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen and check out all the Scam accessories for your motorcycle. The dashboard is 100% digital, both on the top and the bottom. Here on the top we have the tachometer and the speedometer. Here, when you're riding economically, some green lights turn on. Let me turn it on again so you can see. These green dots indicate that you're in economy mode. Down here we have the onboard computer, so we have the total odometer, a clock and a fuel gauge at the bottom. With the button here, directly on the dashboard, we can change it and access the trip information. Kilometers per liter, so you can see the fuel consumption. That's how you know if you're riding economically or not. So we have instant consumption and also average consumption. And here the range, in other words, how far you can go with the gas you have in the tank according to your riding style. And that's all the information. It's showing the little key here. It's telling me that it needs to have the service maintenance done. And only here on the outside are the warning lights. So when I turn on the left or right blinker, it shows, but there's no hazard light. And when I turn on the high beams, it shows me here. And since it has a flasher, it also shows me. Here on the left side, we have the high beam button, the headlight, and here is the passing light. Turn signal to the left and to the right, and the horn is here on the right side. We have a 2-in-1 button here. If you press and hold it, it's the ignition button to start the motorcycle. And here it's showing the little A with off and the little A without off. When activated, this button is for the idling stop or start stop, whichever you prefer to call it. With it activated, when you keep the scooter stopped for a few seconds, it will turn off the engine, bringing more fuel savings and also less pollution. And to restart the engine, you just need to accelerate. It already understands it's the same system as the PCX. This lever here is the parking brake or handbrake. To activate it, you hold here and lift up. It's activated, so the wheel will be locked. To deactivate the handbrake, just press here and that's it. It will go down. The levers don't have reach adjustment, and here on the right lever is the front wheel brake and on the left lever is the rear wheel brake. Since it's an automatic scooter, you don't need to change gears. Okay, about the brakes. In the front we have a disc brake and in the rear a mechanical drum brake. It comes with the combined braking system, CBS, which means that when you use only the rear brake here on the left lever, it will also distribute braking power to the front brake. When you brake using only the front brake, 100% of the braking force is focused on the front. Okay, this is required by law, so the scooter is complying with the regulations. And if you don't know the difference between CBS and ABS or which system is better for you, I made a short detailed video explaining it to help you decide which is the best option to buy. For example, the competitor from Yamaha has ABS brakes on the front. So which one is better? Just click the link in the description or on the card to help you with your question. Now about the suspensions. We have a conventional telescopic fork with 80 millimeters of travel in the front. In the rear, we have a single spring on the left side with a total travel of 70 millimeters and preload adjustment on the spring. And the engine that powers the Elite 125 is a single cylinder with 123.9 cubic centimeters, producing a maximum power of 8.2 horsepower and a maximum torque of 1.06 kgfm. The engine doesn't have liquid cooling, instead it uses air cooling. This fan is located here on the side, and as I mentioned, you don't need to shift gears because it has a CVT transmission. You just accelerate and brake, it's very easy. If you think this video is one of the most complete on the internet, go ahead and hit the like button so I know you enjoyed it, and of course to motivate me to make more videos like this. I've told you everything, so now I'll take it for a drive. Watch until the end for pros, cons, fuel consumption, and insurance cost. Hop on the back with me. Here in Sao Paulo traffic, the Elite does really well, right? It was made for that. It was made for you to ride in traffic. It's an urban vehicle for you to get around the city with a lot of agility. Wow, I think it's very stable. Even though it has these small wheels, I need to say this, it makes me feel safe because it's very light, only 100 kilos. Oh, even in the city, which, okay, doesn't go that fast. However, when you speed up a little, like at 50 kilometers per hour, for example, 60, you don't feel the scooter jumping, unstable. It has small wheels, which is usually a problem. However, I've already ridden other scooters in the same category, which were really bad, right? Did you feel really unsafe? And here on the Elite, it gives you that sense of security. I don't know if it's because of the chassis, if it's because of the suspension calibration, or maybe it's the whole package, right? The engineers did a good job, but for those who ride it, what I feel is a very light scooter, agile and easy to handle. However, there's that fear, right? That insecurity of the bike feeling loose, that sensation like you're riding a bicycle. I don't feel that on the Elite, not at all. The brake, I think, works really well, especially the front one. It's a shame it doesn't come with disc brakes on both wheels, right? Is it? Maybe a lot of people will say, oh, but it's not necessary, it would lock the rear wheel, I don't know. I think the more safety, the better. The scooter does well in the city. Of course, with a passenger, its performance will drop, especially going uphill. Who is this scooter for? This scooter is for someone who will ride on smooth, straight roads and preferably alone, right? That person will do just fine, yes, but it's an entry-level scooter, so don't expect great speed or power performance. But for someone who's just starting out, or for someone who doesn't want to invest in a bigger scooter, right, and is still looking for a brand new one, lightweight, small, I think it's a great option. I think it's more for beginners. For beginners, it's definitely a good buy. Approved for the city. It's an urban vehicle, but you know how it is, right? Let's test it on the road too. Let's take it on the highway here, slow and steady. That's the phrase that defines the elite. Because it has small wheels, it ends up being a little unstable. There's no way around it. It's good for riding in the city. So for the city, it's great. For the road, avoid small wheels. They cause instability. Yeah. Real top speed, you won't go over 90 kilometers an hour. According to Honda, the MAUA Institute, the test showed 89 km/h. That's the real speed, because on the dashboard you hit 93. Downhill with the wind at your back, that's when you're riding alone, right? By yourself, without a passenger and without luggage, so it's tough to ride it on the highway. I'm doing the test for you all, and of course I live here too, right? I need to. I live outside of São Paulo, so I need to take the highway. I'll take this opportunity and do this test for you so you don't have to. Look at Samandinha doing the real test here, riding, often in the rain, always putting myself out there for you. That's why I think I deserve your like, don't I? Your like, your share. Look at how the bike goes. It really goes. See? I thought it would hit 93, but it only got to 92. It keeps braking, right? It keeps holding the engine back. There's no way. So, Anne, do I deserve your like, your share? And Samandinha here does the real test. Because it has small wheels, at high speed, any kind of unevenness on the ground is a problem. But since the Rodovia Ayrton Senna is good here, at least the stretch I'm on doesn't have any major challenges. If you live in one city and work in another, right? For example, Mogi das Cruzes, Guarulhos, Suzano, Itaquá, Alphaville, Osasco. I think it's even possible because you won't be taking the highway at such high speeds, right? Is that so? It's complicated to take the highway. Even if the speed limit is 100 or 120, people drive fast. And then you might be at risk, right? Because it's too slow for you to stay on the left and too fast to, stay behind the truck. So you have this dilemma, about where to stay because you end up really being in limbo. I chose to stay here in the third lane, exactly so I wouldn't get in the way of either the trucks or the cars. But that's it, guys. The rear view mirror doesn't vibrate, right? The single cylinder engine vibrates a little. But anyway, that's not really what it's meant for. It's not meant for highway riding. Honda has other bigger models like, for example, the PCX 160, which you can take on the highway. That's just talking about scooters, okay? There's also the Biz, but the Biz goes about the same speed. So guys, don't be fooled. Maybe the Biz is a little better because of the wheels, right? Even though the Biz isn't a scooter, but within its purpose, the wheels are bigger, so you have a certain stability, but don't be fooled. Here, for example, the top speed on the dashboard is 92. I've already managed to hit 93. Since it doesn't go that fast, it also doesn't get that unstable. I think if it went over 100, then it would start jumping around like a goat. That's not the case with this one, but it's light, okay? So keep that in mind if you don't mind staying here. 92 km/h top speed even when pushing it to the limit, so that's not a problem. But then, what was its fuel consumption since I'm pushing it so hard? Everything is even going down here. Look, the eco indicator didn't show up at any point on the road, so let's check the fuel consumption in the test, insurance, and of course the pros and cons. I always say here on the channel, get insurance no matter what, whether you have a scooter, adventure bike, a sport bike, or even a CG. Unfortunately, criminals aren't sparing anything. The number of motorcycle thefts and robberies keeps increasing. And it's a good idea to get insurance so you don't end up with a loss, especially if you're still paying off your Elite or any other bike. Can you imagine paying for something that's not even in your garage? It's sad, right? That's why I teamed up with the Protect Me insurance broker to get an insurance quote. It's not vehicle protection, okay? It's an insurance company registered with SUSEP and you pay much less. In the link in the description or in the QR code, you just need to point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen. And that's it, you'll get a discounted quote. I'm here on Protect's website filling out the information. It's important that you fill everything out truthfully, okay? Don't lie on your insurance quote so you don't have any problems, and that's it. Several insurance options and companies came up. You can get a quote for insurance for motorcycles you don't even have yet, so brand new motorcycles without a license plate, or even for motorcycles that are already registered. You can enter the license plate correctly there and it will already show the insurance price. Is that okay here for the Elite 125? I selected a female profile and I chose the age of a 30-year-old woman, which is about the average here on the channel, and I used the zip code for Mogidas Cruises where I live. At the moment, several options came up. I'll pick out a few for you that I found really interesting, starting with the cheapest one that showed up for me. Theft and robbery with 24-hour assistance. So imagine you're going to ride it, go around, travel up to 200 kilometers from your house and something happens. You get a flat tire or the scooter stops working. You won't be left stranded because you already have 24-hour assistance coverage and they'll take care of everything for you. Have you seen how much a tow truck costs on its own? It's really expensive. So my tip is for you to at least get theft and robbery coverage and assistance. But if you say, no, Amanda, I want better insurance, you can get theft and robbery coverage with 100% of market value compensation, for example. With loss due to collision, if something happens, there's no total loss for collision, just partial collision. So repairs for the fairings, which are expensive, there's a deductible here of 2,960 reais material and bodily damages of 10,000 each and 24-hour assistance as well. However, with 300 kilometers farther away, the radius there, kilometers, the amount will be 1,624 reais. And the nice thing is that you can pay in 12 installments with no interest. These amounts I mentioned to you are annual, okay? They even included my discount coupon. Pretty good, right? There are several insurance options you choose. If you're not sure which insurance is best for you, just click the WhatsApp button and talk to the Protect Me team. They'll help you at Protect Me. It's very easy. Hundreds of followers got cheaper insurance for their motorcycles using my link here in the description or the QR code. And it's very easy. I recommend it to you. Click, get a quote, done. Regarding the fuel consumption, it depends on your riding style, location, city or highway, and whether you'll have a passenger. If you go full throttle, Honda promises. So, according to the MAWA Institute, which did the measurement, the fuel consumption is about 49.9 kilometers per liter. Of course, at that smooth speed, riding in the city, taking it easy, I, Mandinha here, did a test. The real deal. City, mostly highway, going full throttle. As you saw, the bike maxed out, there was nothing left, and what happened caused high fuel consumption here. 35 kilometers per liter. That's according to the dashboard, okay? It's very fuel efficient. I couldn't measure it at the pump. But you tell me, if you have an Elite from the first or second generation, write down below what kind of fuel consumption you get with it. Still, I thought it was economical. Hey there. And now I'm going to talk about the pros and cons, the positive and negative points of the Elite 125. Just remember, I'm not the ultimate authority. You have every right to agree, disagree, or even add your own thoughts as long as you use the comments respectfully. But first, you need to subscribe to this most charming, best-smelling channel in Brazil. Once you're subscribed to Motoplay, you can comment as much as you want. Starting with the first positive point, in my opinion, the design. Listen, it's very beautiful. It makes you proud to ride it, so it shows your sophistication. A positive point. Another good thing is this idling stop, which helps you save fuel and pollute less. Also, not just carbon monoxide pollution from the exhaust, but also noise pollution. That silence in traffic, I really like it. It's a very good thing. Another positive point is that it has a parking brake. You can park it on the center stand and prevent your scooter from rolling downhill. On uneven ground, since you don't have a gear to engage and lock the wheels. But I found it to be a good thing, an extra point, so it's a positive point, something good that I found. It's stable even though it's a light scooter, about 100 kilos in the city. I found it stable. Even on the road, it didn't wobble under me, which is great. It doesn't go at a super high speed, but I found it stable, surprisingly, for its weight. Another thing is that it's very agile, so that's a positive point. If you're looking for a scooter or a motorcycle to get around the city, the handling is very well tuned. That's a positive point. Another good thing, in my opinion, is the flat floor. It might seem silly, but in everyday life, when you need to do your monthly shopping on the scooter, you'll remember me. So, that's a positive point. Another good thing about this scooter is that it has a lock here where you put the key. And why is that? That's good because at least it makes things a little harder for thieves. They won't be able to mess with your scooter easily, right? They could carry it on their shoulder and take it away in a van. For example, yes, they could. But the more we make things difficult for them, the better. And then with this back part here, from the key itself, you come here, turn it, and that's it. You can open it. There were some old Honda motorcycles that had this, then they removed it. But here on the Elite 125, I think this is a positive point. Another good thing is that it comes with an LED headlight, saving the battery and also providing better brightness. Another good thing is that it's economical, so that's a positive point, especially in times of expensive gasoline. I found the dashboard to be complete with all the information we need to ride it. So average consumption, the eco function, it even shows you the range, right? How far you can go with the gas you have in the tank, I thought that was really good. A positive point. And the last positive point, but no less important, is that this generation here has longer maintenance intervals every 6,000 kilometers, so that's a good thing. You'll spend less on maintenance. Now I'm going to talk about the negative points of the Elite 125. Starting with the fact that it doesn't have a USB port, not Type-C, not Type-A, not any type. Honda missed the opportunity to add a little port. I think it would be very useful under the seat. Another bad thing, in my opinion, is that the rear suspension is stiff. We know that suspension is not the strong point of scooters. However, I need to point out to you that it's going to be uncomfortable. You'll feel some hard bumps, so keep that in mind. Although it has adjustments, I didn't really like the rear suspension. If possible, take a test ride before buying. Another thing is that it's weak when carrying a passenger, so this scooter is more suitable for someone who will be riding alone. You might give someone a ride every now and then. So if you're going to take your wife, husband, or even your older child on the back frequently, maybe it's better, for example, to go straight to the PCX 160, especially since it has a real top speed of 89 km/h. That's not dashboard speed. This was measured by the MAWA Institute, which brings up another downside. Actually, it's not really a downside, but I need to show this to you, which is it's not made for riding on the highway. Even though I rode it on the Ayrton Senna highway, I don't recommend it. The scooter is very weak, especially with a passenger, so forget it. If you're going to carry a passenger often and take the highway, go for another scooter. Go for a PCX or even a used 150, which you can find for about the same price as this one because it could be dangerous for you. One thing that could be improved in the future, though I don't know if it would get too expensive, is that the storage compartment here doesn't have a lid, so sometimes water gets in, right? The object stays there, but depending on the speed bump you go over, it can go flying, right? Like your water bottle. So I think in the future, Honda could add a lid. I think that's important. Unfortunately, this scooter doesn't have a generous amount of space under the seat, so you can only fit an open face helmet. And if you want to use a full face helmet, which is safer, you need to add a top case, and that brings us to another downside, which is how difficult it is to install a top case back here. Okay, there are accessories available on the market, but in my opinion, it ends up being a little bit difficult. Small wheels are another downside, especially if you're going to ride in areas with a lot of potholes or uneven roads, right? Uneven pavement ends up being a negative point. Maybe it would be better for you to go for a Biz, for example, that has larger wheels. Another negative point that Honda needs to fix is that the L-shaped valve makes it easier to inflate the tires, but it's located next to the exhaust. So, when we go to inflate the tires and the exhaust is hot, we run the risk of burning our hand. Ideally, it should be on the left side. That would make our lives easier when inflating the tires. The drum brake is another negative point, and unfortunately it's on the rear wheel, which gives us motorcyclists less safety. And the last negative point, and maybe the most important one, is the price. Okay, on the website, Honda lists a price that's about average compared to the competitors. However, in my opinion, it's a bit high. Since the launch of the Elite in 2018, I've always thought this scooter was a little expensive. I wish it was much cheaper. And we need to mention that many dealerships far from São Paulo and Rio end up charging a really high price. Write down here in the comments how much is the Elite 125 in your city. But we know that many dealerships charge a much higher price than what's suggested on Honda's website, so that ends up being a negative point. And it's available in 4 colors with a suggested retail price starting at 610 reais plus shipping. And now I'm going to answer the million-dollar question. Is it worth it? Well, if you don't really care about having a brand new vehicle, then I'd tell you to look for other used scooters. Like I said, you can even find a PCX 150 for the same price, which is much more powerful, or even a 160. Since the first year it was released, you can bargain and find a used scooter for the same price as a new one. Now, if you really want a brand new scooter, then you need to check if the dealership's price isn't too far from what Honda suggests, otherwise it won't be worth it. If we look, for example, at the competitors, they're in the same price range. For example, the Fluo Hybrid from Yamaha, the first hybrid scooter, its listed price is 16,690 reais. That's 3,000 reais more than the Elite. And the engine is almost the same. Guys, it's basically the same thing. And the Lindy, which used to be the Bergman, so it's the Bergman structure, the same engine and everything, just with a different name, from Haujue, the Lindy, it's costing 13,480 reais, and it even comes with a little trunk. These are website prices, so you can check which is the best option for you if we look at the website prices. Here, the Elite isn't that strong compared to brand new vehicles, but then you can check what's best for you, okay? I think it's worth it compared to competitors, especially with a new scooter. Now, if it doesn't matter to you whether it's used or brand new, then I would go for a used one, a slightly better one, with a price a little better than the Elite 125. If you liked the video, leave a like, share it with your friends in WhatsApp and Facebook groups. That helps me a lot. Let's make this channel grow and reach the mark of 1 million motorcycle enthusiasts. If you're a beginner, take a look at the beginners playlist. There are lots of videos, and if you want to be part of the Motoplay family, subscribe because there will be many more videos. Now, in 2025 and 2026, I'm sure you'll love being part of the Motoplay channel. And you, my loyal subscriber, check if YouTube hasn't unsubscribed you. And if you want to become a channel member with exclusive content, access to photos, wallpapers, and Mandinha's exclusive calendar, just click the link to become a member. You even get priority replies in every video. Up here, I left a video showing its launch firsthand, and down here, I left another video, a really cool one for you. See you next time, Moto Kiss.